The rain pounded against the window like a relentless heartbeat, mirroring the storm raging inside me. I was 28, married to Jack for 5 years, living in a cozy suburban home in Seattle where the evergreens whispered secrets to the wind. But lately, those whispers had turned into echoes from my past, pulling me into a vortex I couldn't escape. It started innocently enough, a notification on my phone from Facebook, a message from Liam, my old high school crush from back in Chicago. We hadn't spoken in over a decade, but his words lit up my screen like fireworks on the 4th of July, igniting memories I'd buried deep under layers of routine and responsibility. Jack was away on another business trip, jetting off to New York for what felt like the umpteenth time, leaving me alone with my thoughts and the empty echo of our house. Liam's messages were a lifeline at first, reminiscing about prom nights, stolen glances in homeroom, the way we'd sneak off to the lake after school to share dreams under the stars. But as the chats grew longer, deeper, something shifted. His words carried a weight, a hidden current that tugged at my heartstrings, making me question the life I'd built. Was it fate or folly that brought him back now? One evening, as thunder rumbled outside, he suggested coffee. "Just to catch up, Emily," he typed, but I could feel the undercurrent, the unspoken invitation to revisit what might have been. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, pulse racing, a shiver crawling up my spine like icy fingers. What if this meeting unraveled everything? What secrets from our youth would surface, pulling us into a web of emotions too tangled to ignore? The air grew thick with anticipation, my breath shallow as I typed back, "Yes." And now, as I sit here replaying that decision, heart pounding with a mix of fear and exhilaration, I wonder, what hidden truths will emerge from the shadows of our past? Will this coffee date be the spark that ignites a forbidden flame, or the key to a mystery that could shatter my world? The suspense coils tighter, urging me forward into the unknown, leaving me desperate to uncover what lies ahead. I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, the steam from the shower still clinging to the glass like a veil of uncertainty. At 28, I thought I had it all figured out. A steady job as a graphic designer in downtown Seattle, a loving husband in Jack, who built his career in tech sales, traveling coast to coast. But Jack's absences had carved out hollow spaces in our marriage, spaces that echoed with loneliness. That's when Liam reappeared, like a ghost from my Chicago high school days, sliding into my DMs with a simple, "Hey, remember me?" Of course I did. Liam Thompson, the boy with the easy smile and eyes like stormy Lake Michigan waves, the one who'd made my teenage heart flutter during those endless summers. Our online chat started casual, swapping stories about old friends and lost dreams. He'd moved to Portland for work as a freelance photographer, capturing the raw beauty of the Pacific Northwest. But as weeks turned into late-night confessions, the conversations deepened. He'd share photos of misty forests, and I'd respond with sketches from my portfolio, each exchange laced with a nostalgia that felt dangerously alive. Jack was oblivious, buried in his emails and flights, but I felt a pull, a magnetic force drawing me toward Liam. Was it just the thrill of reconnection or something more sinister lurking beneath? The day he suggested meeting, Jack had just left for a conference in Boston. "Coffee at that little spot near Pike Place Jacket?" Liam messaged. My hands trembled as I agreed. What was I doing? I told myself it was innocent, just two old friends catching up. But as I dressed in my favorite jeans and a soft sweater, the one Jack said made my eyes pop, I couldn't ignore the butterflies rioting in my stomach. Driving through the drizzling rain, wipers slicing the gray afternoon, my mind raced with what-ifs. What if he looked the same? What if he didn't? And deeper still, what mystery from our past had prompted this now? The cafe was tucked away, a cozy nook with exposed brick walls and the aroma of fresh espresso beans mingling with cinnamon rolls. I arrived first, claiming a corner table by the window, watching raindrops race down the pane. My heart thudded like a drum when the door chimed, and there he was. Liam, taller than I remembered, his dark hair tousled, wearing a leather jacket that screamed adventure. His smile lit up the room, erasing the years in an instant. Emily, he said, his voice warm and familiar, pulling out the chair opposite me. You haven't changed a bit. We ordered lattes, mine with extra foam, his black like always, and dove into conversation. It flowed effortlessly, like we'd never parted. We laughed about Mr. Hargrove's algebra class, where Liam had passed me notes folded into origami hearts. Remember that time we ditched school for the Cubs game? He asked, eyes sparkling. I nodded, feeling a blush creep up my cheeks. Those memories weren't just stories. They were threads weaving us back together, stirring emotions I'd long suppressed. As the afternoon stretched, the cafe emptied around us, but we lingered. Liam leaned in, his hand brushing mine accidentally. Or was it? As he showed me a photo on his phone from our senior trip to the dunes. You were always the one who made everything feel magical, he murmured. My breath caught. There was a depth in his gaze, a silent question hanging in the air. Childhood crushes, innocent then, now bloomed into something tender, romantic. I shared about my life with Jack, the highs and the quiet lows, and Liam listened, really listened, his fingers tracing patterns on the tablecloth near mine. The rain outside intensified, mirroring the storm building inside me. He confessed he'd thought about me often, wondering what if we'd taken that path together. My heart swelled with a mix of guilt and longing. As we talked, layers peeled away, revealing a mystery. Why had he reached out now? He hinted at a tough breakup, a search for something real. But there was more. A hesitation in his voice, like he guarded a secret from our shared past. Did it involve that summer night by the lake when we'd almost kissed under the fireworks? By the time we parted, hugging a beat too long in the parking lot, rain soaking our clothes, I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. Driving home, wipers slashing, my mind whirled with romance's sweet ache. Liam's text buzzed, "Can't wait to see you again." But as I pulled into my driveway, Jack's car was there early. Unexpected. Panic surged. What had I started? The mystery deepened, pulling me into uncharted waters where love and betrayal danced on a knife's edge. What secret would unravel next, threatening to upend everything? Jack's car in the driveway sent a jolt through me, like lightning splitting the stormy Seattle sky. I parked, my hands trembling as I gripped the steering wheel, rain drumming a relentless rhythm on the roof. Had he seen me with Liam? My mind spun, replaying the warmth of Liam's hug, the way his breath had lingered near my ear, stirring feelings I hadn't dared name. I forced a deep breath, smoothing my damp sweater, and stepped inside our house, the familiar scent of cedar and coffee doing little to calm my racing heart. "Emily?" Jack's voice called from the kitchen, casual but edged with something I couldn't place. I found him at the counter, unpacking takeout from our favorite Thai place, his tie loosened, eyes tired from travel. "You're soaked," he said, glancing up with a half smile. "Where have you been?" My stomach twisted. I mumbled about errands, hating the lie as it slipped out. But the truth? Coffee with Liam, my heart tangled in memories, felt like a grenade I wasn't ready to pull the pin on. Dinner was quiet, Jack scrolling through emails while I pushed pad thai around my plate, my thoughts drifting to the cafe. Liam's words echoed, "You were always the one who made everything feel magical." The memory of his hand brushing mine sent a shiver down my spine, a forbidden warmth blooming in my chest. I glanced at Jack, his jaw set, oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. Guilt gnawed, but so did curiosity. What was Liam holding back? That hesitation in his voice hinted at a deeper story, a piece of our past I didn't yet understand. The next morning, Jack left early for a meeting, kissing my forehead distractedly. I exhaled, alone again, and opened my laptop. Liam had messaged, "Can we meet again? There's something I need to tell you." My pulse quickened. What was it? A confession? A regret? I agreed to meet at a quiet park near Lake Union, where willows draped over the water like secrets waiting to spill. The rain had softened to a mist, cloaking the world in a dreamlike haze as I drove, my heart a mix of dread and anticipation. Liam was waiting by a bench, his camera slung around his neck, his smile both familiar and disarming. "You came," he said, relief softening his features. We walked along the lake, the mist curling around us, creating a cocoon where the world felt far away. Our conversation started light, his latest photography project, my new design client, but soon it dipped into deeper waters. "I've been thinking about you for years," he admitted, stopping to face me, his eyes searching mine. "That summer by the lake, I should have kissed you." My breath hitched. The memory of that night, fireworks bursting above, our laughter mingling with the lapping waves, flooded back. We'd been so close, teetering on the edge of something more, but I'd pulled away, scared of what it meant. Now, standing here, the air charged with unspoken longing, I felt that same pull, only stronger. "Why now, Liam?" I whispered, my voice barely steady. "What's changed?" He looked away, toward the lake, his jaw tightening. "There's something I never told you," he said, his voice low, almost lost in the mist. "That summer, I wrote you a letter. I poured everything into it, my feelings, my dreams for us. I was going to give it to you, but I chickened out. Someone else found it." My heart stopped. A letter? Who found it? And why was he telling me now? Before I could press, he stepped closer, his hand grazing my arm, sending a spark through me. "I don't want to make the same mistake twice," he murmured. The moment hung between us, heavy with possibility. I wanted to lean in, to let the warmth of his touch erase the years, but Jack's face flashed in my mind, his steady presence, our vows. Yet Liam's nearness, the romance of our shared history, was intoxicating, like a melody I couldn't stop humming. I stepped back, my voice shaky. "I'm married, Liam. It's complicated." He nodded, pain flickering in his eyes, but he didn't push. "I know. But I had to be honest. There's more to the story, Emily. Meet me one more time, and I'll tell you everything." We parted, my heart a battlefield of loyalty and longing. Driving home, the mist thickened, mirroring the fog in my mind. What was in that letter? Who had seen it? And why did it feel like the past was unraveling a mystery that could change everything? The anticipation was unbearable, pulling me toward a truth I wasn't sure I was ready to face. The weight of Liam's words clung to me like the Seattle mist, heavy and inescapable as I drove home from the park. "There's more to the story," he'd said, his eyes pleading for one last chance. My phone buzzed with a message from Jack. "Home early tonight. Miss you." Guilt twisted like a knife, sharpening the mystery that had woven itself into my life. What was in that letter from our past? Who had found it? And why did it matter now? The questions swirled, pulling me deeper into a romantic fog where loyalty battled longing. I spent the afternoon pacing our living room, the evergreen trees outside swaying like silent witnesses. Memories of Liam flooded in, the way he'd capture moments with his camera, freezing time in frames that made ordinary days feel extraordinary. Our childhood in Chicago had been a tapestry of shared adventures. Bike rides through Grant Park, ice cream cones melting under summer sun, whispers in the dark during sleepovers at friends' houses. Those innocent bonds had evolved into something profound, a romance rekindled by fate's cruel timing. But Jack, he'd been my anchor, the one who'd proposed under the Space Needle, promising stability in a chaotic world. That evening, as Jack grilled salmon on the deck, I forced smiles, my mind elsewhere. "You seem distant," he noted, setting plates on the table. I blamed work stress, but his gaze lingered, as if sensing the shadows creeping in. After dinner, I retreated to my studio, sketching aimlessly, when Liam texted, "Tomorrow, the old lighthouse at Discovery Park. I promise, everything will make sense." My heart raced. A lighthouse, symbol of guidance through storms, felt poetic, almost destined. I agreed, the suspense coiling tighter, urging me toward revelation. The next day dawned crisp, sunlight piercing the usual gray, as if the universe conspired for clarity. I told Jack I had a client meeting, the lie tasting bitter, and headed to the park. Waves crashed against the shore, salt air invigorating, as I spotted Liam near the lighthouse, wind tousling his hair. He held a weathered envelope, yellowed with age, his expression a mix of vulnerability and resolve. "This is it," he said, handing it over. The letter I wrote that summer. My fingers trembled as I opened it, the paper crackling like old secrets awakening. His words poured out, poetic confessions of young love, dreams of running away together, fears of rejection. "I loved you then, Emily," it read, "in ways I couldn't say. You're the light in my lens, the focus in my blurred world." Tears blurred my vision. It was beautiful, raw, a piece of our history I'd never known. But then, the mystery unraveled. I left it in your locker, but it vanished. Later, I heard rumors. Someone intercepted it, maybe to sabotage us. "Who?" I whispered, the wind carrying my voice. Liam hesitated, then confessed. "Your best friend back then, Sarah. She had a crush on me, admitted it years later. She destroyed it to keep us apart." Shock rippled through me. Sarah? The one who'd encouraged me to date others, including the boy who became my first heartbreak? The revelation stung, peeling back layers of betrayal from our youth. But more than that, it illuminated the what if, a path not taken, now tempting me anew. Liam stepped closer, his hand cupping my cheek gently, thumb tracing a tear. "I never stopped wondering," he murmured, his breath warm against my skin. The romance between us ignited, a tender flame fanned by years of unspoken yearning. In that moment, under the lighthouse's watchful beam, I felt seen, cherished in ways Jack's absences had eroded. We shared a lingering embrace, hearts sinking like they had in those Chicago nights, the world fading to just us. But as the sun dipped, reality crashed back. "I can't," I said, pulling away, though every fiber ached to stay. "Jack, our life together." Liam nodded, pain etching his features, but understanding softened it. "I know, but if you ever—" He trailed off, pressing the letter into my hand, a keepsake of what could have been. Driving home, the mystery resolved, but the ache lingering, I pondered choices. That night I confessed to Jack, not everything, but enough. The loneliness, the need for more. Surprisingly, he listened, vowing to cut trips, to rebuild. As we held each other, a quiet romance rekindled there too, grounded in commitment. Months later, Liam and I stayed friends from afar, our bond a cherished memory. The letter? Tucked away. A reminder that love's mysteries can heal as much as they wound. Life moved on, but that chapter left me forever changed, heart fuller for the paths explored and the one chosen.